the alphabetical index. Cholesterolemia, cholesterolosis, here we go, gallbladder with cholecystitis, which is what we want, but then it says C. cholecystitis, so then we go back and we're back to cholecystitis acute and chronic. So that's interesting that even though this technically is not a combo code, there is no code that goes in addition to this. I find that interesting. Check the answer key, and good deal. It's the right one. Okay, number 5. Acute cholecystitis and choledocholithiasis. Something tells me we're on a trend here. So, acute cholecystitis, but then again I've got with choledocholithiasis, so I know I've got these combo codes. So I'm going to have to see choledocholithiasis. Let me not forget my color coding. So I know I'm going to have to go to choledocholithiasis first, and then there's a with cholecystitis, and then I know that acute's probably going to be my third word. Normally I wouldn't know this right off the bat, but we've been working now with it for a few problems, so I'm kind of getting the hang of this. Choledocholithiasis with cholecystitis acute. So 574.3x. X in the alphabetical index is 0 without mention of obstruction, 1 with obstruction, so it looks like 0. So 574.30. Calculus of bile duct with acute cholecystitis without mention of obstruction. So 574.30 looks like the right one. I'm going to look at the answer key, and that is the right one. Okay, well, this one gets fun. Acute and chronic cholelithiasis with calculi in gallbladder and bile duct. Yeah, I think we've done this one already. Either that or else things are just running together. So cholelithiasis is going to be my first word that I'm going to look up. Although, actually, no, that's not true. I know that calculi is going to be the one that I'm going to have to look up first. Then cholelithiasis. And I'm going to stop there because it could go any direction depending on how the alphabetical index goes. And actually, technically, it's this. So calculi in gallbladder is cholelithiasis. It's kind of redundant here. Cholelithiasis with calculi in gallbladder is cholelithiasis. So that is really kind of weird. But cholelithiasis, acute and chronic. Okay, hold on a second. Cholelithiasis with choledocholithiasis, so that takes care of the bile duct. With, I wonder if I copied this down wrong. 6, acute cholelithiasis with calculi and bile duct. Interesting. Alright, so I'm going to go back to cholelithiasis with, there's no mention of cholecystitis though. But there is mention of choledocholithiasis, but no mention of cholecystitis. So, really, the only code that I can find here, 574.9x, no mention of obstruction, so that should be 0. So I kind of flip back and forth there because this is really kind of a weird phrase. Just because cholelithiasis means you have calculus, calcium stones in the gallbladder, and then they say with calculi in gallbladder, which is cholelithiasis, so it's really redundant. And I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish with that. So if I'm looking for acute and chronic cholelithiasis with choledocholithiasis, which is calcium stones in the bile duct. And if I kind of pare it down to that, I get cholelithiasis with cholelithiasis, which is exactly what I'm looking for, but I see nothing about acute or chronic. So that's where I get that 574.90. Now I'm just going to look up in the tabular index, because sometimes it just makes it clearer. 574.9 is calculus of gallbladder and bile duct without cholecystitis. And it's any condition classifiable to 574.2 and 574.5, which includes... there's no mention of acute or chronic, so that's kind of weird. But, I mean, it accounts for most of it. I think that acute and chronic is really kind of weird. I'm going to settle on that 574.90. That's not really a very clear question. Check the answer key real quick. No, that's what they're looking for, is 574.90. That is really interesting. Okay, so now on to the last problem. Well, I know I'm going to go here with the gallbladder calculus, and then probably the bile duct. I'm kind of shortcutting because I know that these are going to take me there, having just been there. Looks like we got mention of obstruction. Cholecystitis is the third word. So now I go back to my index, which I lost my place. I apologize. So cholelithiasis with cholelithiasis. With cholecystitis, acute and chronic, 574.8. 574.8, fifth digit. There is mention of an obstruction, so 574.81. We'll look up in the tabular index, 574.8, calculus of gallbladder and bile duct with acute and chronic cholecystitis. Check the answer key real quick, and that's what they're looking for. Okay, so the next time we'll go on to exercise 3.